Satnam, Aman Devi here, offering a general reading. As always, take what resonates and disregard the rest. And I want to talk a little bit about timelines, trajectories, and blessings moving forward, and blessings blocked. So I pulled this card as an example. Um, my drawing and my notes from what they're giving me are such a mess. So I just pulled a card out for you. What if your destined timeline has you like this ship moving forward, right? That with each elevation, ascension, lesson learned, that you rise up to a new level, right? And with each jump ahead, and this is like a growth point, right? Just like we ever think about, like as you're a kid, you're like growing pains. There are these spiritual growing pains that in the process, there are some things we need to leave behind, whether it's material objects, human beings on our path, a place, workplace, whatever it is, right? That as we shed one layer, it needs to go. And if we think about it, sometimes you think of like the thrift store or a yard sale, it's like what you're finished with could be someone else's elevation, if that makes sense. So energetically, as you take the time to cut cords, to release wholeheartedly, you make room for others to receive and align to their blessings. And what they were giving me was kind of this sense of the blessings being like these light balloons that carried us up, right? Like a handful of them. And that the cords that you're tethered to were like almost like these wires, anchors, like pulling you back, keeping you in a timeline. And it's less so like you might have moved on from that connection. But think if you have that energetic cord to them and it hasn't been mindfully connected, it can continue to be resurrected by thoughts, emotions, memories. And then think about, just as you're being lifted up by that balloon, they're being lifted up by your energy. So they're kind of drawing off of your energy field, and simultaneously you're being pulled back by theirs, like this anchor that keeps you still. And so, like this card says, stranded, infinite, you're kind of in this place between. So sometimes when you have called in a manifestation and you're like doing all the things, consider energetically what other cleaning house energetically you can do. And just like this fog is here, it's this really light layer that might like through the mental emotional body could go unseen. When you are connected to someone energetically, emotionally, just like a codependent connection, it's like you're not aware of what it feels like to be independent in your energy field from their codependent or karmic patterns. So washing that away will free you up and give you more mental clarity to then listen to your guides, see and feel through your intuition to make those steps forward. It's going to elevate you to command the ship rather than being dragged down. They were showing me this deck. This deck's been calling out, and this one's kind of like my forward moving deck. And what I like about this one is it has a unique card, the wishing well, two, I think. I could be wrong on my numbers there, and the artist deck. So co-creating with pure intention. What else can you do to clean house? And are you allowing someone else to stand in your way? It's all in your hands. Okay, cards already falling. Oh, beautiful. 3 of Wands. Couldn't ask for a better card. You're talking about manifestation there. See your path. See your road ahead. And are you willing to flow? Are you willing to jump all in? Are you willing to jump all in and flow with the seas or winds of change. I'm kind of thinking of the emotional body between the water there. Like you might feel like you're in a rock in a hard place. You're like, you might have expected yourself to be further along at this point, expected your path to turn out a different way. Perhaps the clarity you seek will be there once you clean house. And so your manifestation isn't quite as clear to you until you receive this clarity. Think of the stick in hand, that walking stick. There is the help and support you need from the divine. Bottom deck energy. Love this. Is the strength. And the next bottom deck, I'm going to stop there. You have the strength. Don't turn your back to your own wisdom and your own courage and tenacity. And the Knight of Cups is that offering of a new emotion, a new way of feeling alive, a new way of being heard on this planet. I like that. I haven't heard that before. I haven't heard them speak in those terms. Your prayers have been heard. Now it's up to you to take that leap of faith and continue to maintain your vision and trust in your strength. And you are being called into a new level of strength. They're giving the word inactivity. Inactivity. The next bottom deck, and it's because this bird is standing out. Are you listening? Put down through the mental body and listen to what your guides are giving you. And maybe it's a matter of inactivity rather than pushing ahead, but listening to feel it through. 8. There's that rock in the hard place right there. Mixed emotions. Bottom deck. I mean, let it go requires strength, but there's a flip side to every coin, right? And I love this deck. This is the Uncaged playing card deck. And I spoke to the Pelican. It's one of those glitchy videos. So if that really calls to you, diving deep. And the Pelican, I'm trying to think in the book of the art book. Oh, I can't get the words out. Okay, drop it. It requires you to work in the material realm in a different way. I'm going to say that with the Queen and the Ace, the 8, in order to find the clarity. Ace. That's why they're giving the word Ace. To move yourself out of that stagnant energy. It's perceived because you have the strength to continue. You have the wherewithal, whether you know it or not, to get yourself out of it. And so this is like a new level of self-love and self-care, right? It's more than just creating your vision board and taking your salt bath, right? I'm nothing against that. Like, do what you need to do for you. But when we're talking about letting go of ties, it requires the adulting self, the soul self, to step up with higher reason and heart, and perhaps deliver that tough love to close that door. And it's not tough love. Those, sometimes we're really good at seeing someone's behavior and the undercurrent and the trauma behind it. And so what do? We forgive, we allow, and it continues. Well, that's part of what's draining your energy, that's blocking your blessings. And by cutting that energetic cord, you not only free yourself up to continue, it forces them, it's like taking the training wheels off. You help someone with their training wheels, and now they got to man up. Yeah. So, and level up, excuse me, if I want to be gender neutral to respect all. And you owe it to yourself to level yourself up, to nurture what feels right for you. Move forward. I tell you can't make this up. Bottom deck. Unfold your beauty. So it's here for you. All that you've asked for. And there are times when you get these more than an intuitive hit. I love this next one. This is one of my... It's more than an intuitive hit in that you get these waves of clarity where you know your purpose, and then you have work to do in the material, right? And then you might go through some winds of change and some lessons, and then you get another wave of clarity. You're like, oh wait, but you're not quite there yet, right? You're like, I got this hit that I'm supposed to do X, Y, and Z, and yet I'm over here doing this, and then I go over here and do that. Think of what a bee pollinating. They travel around and then go back to the colony. They travel around, go back to the colony, right? And so you can think of your connection with your guides, or that major download, different from like the step-by-step instructions that your guides give you. It's more like returning to the hive, right? You can't stay in the hive because that doesn't keep the colony alive. It's required to go out. The sweetness requires you to go out and do these things, right? To learn these lessons, to activate these humans, and then come back, right? And refuel yourself. Because bees work together in this beautiful sisterhood, right? My point is, it doesn't all happen at once, right? Think about infancy. You slowly learn facial expressions. You slowly learn words. You slowly learn to crawl and roll over and walk, right? Take a step. You have to learn how to take that step again in divine order. And with each download and each, they're giving the regression. I suspect that it's like on some level you feel like you've regressed, right? Because you have this soul memory, and yet you come into this human body, this human form, and work with these humans in different timelines. And then it's a relearning, unlearning, and learning again, right? Does that make sense? Okay, Mas. Sometimes an anchor is required. Sometimes you do sit still. Sometimes you pull back into a creek and weather the storm there in this really safe housing of trees with waters that don't have the same movement and current that other waters. And sometimes you are in rough seas and in a storm. And sometimes you're flowing with the light sparkling on the water. It's ever changing, and you're ever evolving, and you're here to redefine what it means to be alive. You're here to redefine yourself time and time again. You're here to live and love time and time again, no matter how that word love shows itself. And sometimes love is closing a door and cutting a cord. I do hope this served well, sending lots of love and light your way.